Hello everybody and welcome to the Dispersal Hut. Today I'd like to take you on a walk round of our beautiful de Havilland Chipmunk WD292 in the hangar at Fenland before taking her out for a flight. So please sit back, relax and enjoy. Welcome everybody, this is our de Havilland Chipmunk T10 WD292, 1950 built de Havilland Chipmunk, and I'm about to do the pre-flight inspection before a day's training. So first things first, because I'm going to be touching engine parts. A good look inside the cockpit, make sure all the switches are off. So magneto switches are off, the brakes are off, we put the fuel cock on now, and the battery master is off. That's all I need for the interior inspection now. Checking the rear set switches are also off. So stepping down. Checking the condition of the fabric. This is general aeroplane inspection stuff, so it's going to be hinges and split pins. I'll come back to the flats very shortly. Screws on the fairings, condition of the fabric, attachment of the flight controls. The castellating nuts are split pins, and we've lubricated this fairly recently, so I know that's all good. And a full and free movement check, and checking the split pins on the underside as well. Finally on the last part, the aileron. Condition of the end, screws, fairings, lights. We have fabric on the 2/3 of the wing. Leading edge of the wing is metal covered. Again, looking for rivets that may have popped, any stresses, any wobbles on the skin of the aeroplane. Remove my pitot cover. Quick look down, make sure that's all clear and it's secure. Our zips are fastened, not broken, attached together. And moving into the undercarriage section. It's a fixed undercarriage on the Chipmunk, so we're just checking the oleos are out. It's rubber donuts in here rather than gas powered, so there's no oil leaks or anything here, so a little bit of grease around. Condition of the brakes and the pads. Tyre condition. I'll do the tyre pressures off camera, it takes a little while of fiddling around. You can see it's muddy here at Fenland, it's going to get even muddier today. Coming onto the fuel tank, we have fuel, indicators correct. I'll drain that off camera as well, there's a drain point just on the underside. This is our anti-siphon valve, and it has a rattle, so that's good. There's our drain port, I'll come back to that shortly, I'll do that off camera, again slightly fiddly job. Checking for fastenings under here really. This winter we have a heating system in the aeroplane all the time, and I'll put the fan heater in just to help it off this morning. So lifting it up, try not to get too much of the hot air out. We have Gypsy Major 10.2 4-cylinder inverted engine, air cooled. Fuel pumps, engine driven, well both engine driven, this one's also your primer pump with the wobble handle on there. So I'm just going to do that one stroke now, make sure there's pressure, which there is, so I can prime the aeroplane later without turning the prop. And this ring floods our carburetor effectively on the other side, so when I pull that out and pump the fuel pump, the fuel will bypass the carburetor when it's full and come out through the overflow. I'll need to know that seats again on its spring power, which it does, and I'll check the other side. Conditions of magnetos, linkages, split pins in place, all this sort of stuff I'll check again thoroughly off camera, just showing you what I'll be looking at. Vacuum pump with its connections, looking at hoses, looking at connections for starter solenoids, the generator, and quite importantly the air intake for the oil cooler. I'm going to check my hydraulic reservoir here quickly. A little bit of weepage around the top makes me think it's probably been quite full. Yeah, just catching it on the light, probably can't see on the camera, it's about there, which is perfect. Only operates the brakes on the Chipmunk. This is our ground power receptacle. We don't use this these days, but you can plug in a ground power system and run effectively the starter motors, the only real electrics, the starter and radio on the ground. So I'm going to close this side up just to keep some heat in the system. That'll help with the start up slightly later on. Again, rivets, conditions, screws and washers should all be in place. I'll do the rattle test as I walk around, going around the propeller arc. Yep, they're all nice and tight. Leading edge of the prop, no dings, no blemishes. That all feels good to me. The spinner, we've just had this one repaired after having a crack. They do tend to crack around the screws at times, and this one's all looking quite nice at the moment. Looking down the air intake there, the cooler for the engine. It flies regularly, but things like bird's nests and loose wires and condition for the plugs and things like that. The other prop blade, again, all good. And now the other side of the engine. So this is the carburetor air intake, just the cowling point, make sure that's nice and clear. Undo the cowling, pop this up on its stay. Here's the other side of the Gypsy 10.2 engine. This side we see the inlet manifold, the other set of spark plugs, the carburetor carb heat filter. This is our impulse magneto, the one that will help us start it, and our oil tank, the other side of, with our oil cap. So I'm going to undo that. Looking for at least 3/4. That's lovely. The half mark is about there. So we're I'll add half a bottle. Then I'll do that off camera shortly. Every day, so once every 24 hours, we need to turn the oil scraper ring. So this fella here, this will be quite stiff. It's cold. I'm going to do that at 360. Okay. This spring is our carburetor heat lever, so that goes through to the cockpit, pulls the carburetor heat on via this pulley and closes that flap there. Carb heat is now hot, carb heat is now cold. Checking the springs are attached and all the connections are nice for that, because carb heat is pretty essential on the damp mornings, especially when it's cold like this. Connections around the carburetor, we've got lots of knuckle joints and pins here, making sure they're all in good condition. And this is our flood valve. This, when I pulled the ring the other side, that lowers this lever by this cable here, pulls that down, and that floods the carburetor. I'm quite happy to see that's coming up under its own spring pressure. Looking at the exhaust and inlet nuts and washers, they do have a habit of shedding these at times. Blowing exhaust gaskets is rather frustrating on Chipmunks, so staying on top of those, keeping them nicely taut and done up. So that is the engine side of the Chipmunk done. The rest of the airframe on the wing side is going to be the same as I've shown you the other side, so I won't film that, and I'll see you back at the tail. So I've arrived at the back of the starboard wing. This is where I'm going to pull the flap lever. So it's just down on the left hand side of the cockpit. One click. I can see the flaps have come down on both sides. Now if I push now, I can inspect the hinge and pins on this one. And it travels all the way down and back to its half lock, so that's good. I'll go around to the other side when I get there. Canopy condition. Glasses or perspex do need a bit of a clean. Just a bit of dampness on the hanger. I'll clean those down shortly. The windscreen needs a clean, I can see. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up. Again, rivet lines, fairings, checking everything's secure here. The battery box, the canopy runners. I'm checking all this stuff for security on the walk around. These are our anti-spin strakes fitted to Chipmunks. They help with spinning characteristics. And I'm now checking all the screws on here for tightness. A general tap test will pick up a loose screw quite nicely. You hear it ting, it rattles. So with the fabric covered elevator, quick move for foot and free movement. It's all good. And again, I check split pins and nuts and bolts are all done up in here. Trim tab in a sensible position. The condition of the cable on both sides, and then coming around to the back end of the airplane. I'm going to come back and do this properly off camera. It takes a bit of time. There's a loose thing, that's just a light. That's quite normal, but you can hear that screw has a bit of a rattle. This one's known for it is a captive screw. It doesn't actually move, it's been like that for years, but there's a rattle I'd hear around there for a loose screw. So rudder, foot and free movement. I'm going to check the hinges in a moment on there. Very important in the Chipmunk that you get the full and free all the way to the stop. You would feel, because of the way the brakes work, as you move the rudder bars, it interferes with the master cylinders on each wheel. And as you get to full travel, you may feel a bit of a squish, like a hydraulic squish at the back end of the movement, and that will tell you your brakes are starting to bind at full rudder movement. If you were going spinning, aerobating, you want all the rudder control, just in case you were to enter a spin, and you might need that to get out. So any interference in the brakes at this point will be quite a bad thing. Some people have them set up so there's just ever a slight push in the last millimetre or two of travel. I prefer to have nothing, and we can apply the brakes as required. We'll go through the braking later. So I've just tap tested the corner here as well, so the back end is done. The tail wheel pressure is fine already, I've checked that, and the condition of it. So tail wheel wise are all okay. It's a fully cast ring tail wheel, i.e. a shopping trolley on the back of the aeroplane. And again, a nice long lever arm on that. So controlling your tail when taxiing is pretty important, momentum especially. So it brings us around to the left hand side again, checking for security of the push out panel. This is your emergency escape panel. Should you need to get out in a hurry. A bit of lock wire, not lock wire, it's a bit of safety telltale wire. And you'd operate this on the outside by lifting and twisting. Pull some pins out of these pins here, and you can pick out the panel. Same on the back. So just making sure the telltale wire's in there, that nobody's fiddled with it. The handles I've checked and operated already. This is how you open the canopy, and I've already checked those for security. Back to this side of the flaps. We didn't check this on the walk around because I pulled the lever the other side. And just checking the hinge, again, split pins, movement, and it's doing as it should do. So I'm happy the aeroplane's good. I'm now going to hop back up on the wing and put the flaps away. A little touch with my toe tells me they're locked. I hope you've enjoyed that slightly condensed point of view walk around of the Havilland Chipmunk. If you have, please do like, comment and subscribe, and check out my channel for more chipmunk and vintage aviation content. Thank you very much for joining me. See you again very soon.